Weeks after Sri Lankan Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa resigned from his post in the face of expanding violent anti-government protests, another family member with a cabinet rank, Basil Rajapaksa, has resigned now. The decision may have come as a shot in the arm for the anti-government demonstrators. The ground situation in the country has not shown any signs of improvement, with crises ranging from petrol to power to unprecedented price rise. Everything is seemingly slipping out of government's control.
The brother of Sri Lanka's President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the country's former finance minister Basil Rajapaksa has resigned from the parliament, the second from the influential family to step away from government amid a severe economic crisis. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's elder brother Mahinda Rajapaksa had resigned as Prime Minister last month after prolonged protest against the economic crisis turned deadly. The three Rajapaksa siblings have been key players in Sri Lankan politics for decades, but are blamed by protesters who have taken to the streets in thousands in recent months for mishandling the island nation's economy. Basil, however, did not concede that he was resigning owing to rising pressure. He said he would continue to remain involved in politics even after the resignation.
Sri Lanka Parliamentary Mahalekhamtumata mama Parliamentu Mantriwarek හැටියට ඉල්ලා අස්වීමේ ලියුම බාර දුන්නා. ඒ නිසා මේ මොහොත වෙන විට මම සාමාන්‍ය පුරවැසියෙක් ලෙස ඔබව අමතන්නේ. තාස කරපු එකක් තමයි රාජ්‍ය පාලනයත් දේශපාලනයත් කියන්නේ දෙකක් කියලා. ඒකේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම රාජ්‍ය පාලනයෙන් බැහැරවීම තමයි මේ තීන්දුවේ ප්‍රධානම ඉලක්කය. ඒ අනුව අද ඉඳලා කිසිම රාජ්‍ය පාලනයේ කිසිම කටයුත්තකට මම සම්බන්ධ වෙන්නේ නැති බව දැනුම් දෙනවා. හැබැයි දේශපාලනය ඉතින් කිරීම නතර කරන්නේ නැහැ.
The crisis in the island nation is showing no signs of abating, let alone dying down. From long queues for gasoline to hours of power cuts, the situation is getting grimmer by the day. And after several government employees took to the streets expressing protest against the incumbent authorities, it was the power sector engineers this time who decided to protest, triggering a painful power outage situation where people suffered painfully long power cuts. People in Sri Lanka are already facing massive power shortage, and the strike by electricity board employees that is responsible for around 1000 megawatt of electricity further worsened the situation. From morning chores to evening businesses, everything was affected.
බලන්න කොහොනේ උදේ 4 ඉඳලාම ලයිට් නැහැ. දැන් මොනව කරන්නද? ළමයි ඉස්කෝලේ යන්න ඕන. උදේට උයා ගන්න ඕන. කිසි දෙයක් කරගන්න විදියක් නැහැ නේ අපිට. මේ විදියට අපි කොහොමද ජීවත් වෙන්නේ? අපි කියන්නේ බලන්න කවුරුවත් නැද්ද?
කරගෙන යන්නේ කොහොමද? ඉතින් මේ තියෙන සත්වෙත් එක ඇත්තටම වැය කරන් යන්න. මේ පහන් තියාගෙන පේනවා නේද විඳින දුක. එනන්නේ කතා කරලා ගන්න.
The only good news that surfaced for the island nation was from the United Nations, which in response to a request from the government confirmed to have launched a plan to provide $47.2 million of assistance between June and September. The protests, however, in the country have gained momentum as more and more people are joining in. Even after the resignation of Basil Rajapaksa, the demonstrators say they are not satisfied and will only leave the protest sites once all Rajapaksas are gone. Reports are also surfacing about riots between the pro-government and anti-government demonstrators. The law enforcement agencies used tear gas this week on students who blamed the police for dragging their feet in arresting the leaders of President Rajapaksa's party. They said the authorities employed brute force to muzzle their demands. The authorities called it a measure to prevent degradation of the law and order situation. The observers say that similar incidents are likely to occur and reoccur on a frequent basis until the government succeeds in bringing stability at the economic front. They say the government must be focusing now on ensuring investments, securing loans, and an increased fuel supply.